I'm Cassie Hudson. The statewide correction officers strike is still underway in many parts of the state, including Coxsackie Correctional Facility. While we heard some members have taken the most recent deal, others are holding the line. News 10's Vanessa Blasi giving us a look at where things stand. Vanessa.
Good evening, Cassie. According to the agreement between the state and corrections union, all three deadlines given for correction officers to return back to work have now passed. The last deadline just passing at 10:45 tonight. And while we're hearing some officers did return to work today, as you can see, others are still striking. One retired correction officer tells us why and what penalties they may face. Saturday marking day 13 of correction officer strikes across the state.
It's definitely been a rough 13 days. Guys have braved the cold and the weather for what they believe in. That
belief all centered around safety. Cantelmo says he was a correction officer at Coxsackie Correctional Facility for 23 years.
This is about a safety issue for all staff. There's not just correction officers inside. There's nurses, teachers, civilian staff all over, and it's become an extremely dangerous place.
Governor Kathy Hochul announcing an agreement Thursday night addressing concerns with the HALT Act, staffing shortages, mandatory overtime, and more. According to the deal, they will temporarily increase overtime pay, form a committee to relieve staffing shortages, and suspend the HALT Act for 90 days. This suspension will last while the state evaluates the risk to officers. The HALT Act restricts solitary confinement for incarcerated individuals. Plus, the Civil Service Employees Association reaching a temporary agreement Saturday for the prison workers who are not correction officers. This includes nurses, doctors, social workers, and plenty more.
Our members' safety is the most important concern that we have during this crisis. So this memo of agreement provides a lot of safety procedures in place that protect our members, and that is the main focus.
Just last week, civilian staff represented by the Public Employees Federation also reaching a memorandum of agreement. Now, the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision says officers who do not return to work by Saturday will face an immediate termination of their health insurance plan, possible arrest, and or firing from their positions. Yet Cantelmo believes the officers who are still out there are more passionate than afraid.
I think they're more set to the cause than being scared. It's more serious than anybody realizes.
Cantelmo says the strike is slightly smaller today than it was yesterday, and it's still unclear just how many correction officers return to work today. We've reached out to NYSCOPA for an exact number, and they say they're still working to find out. In the meantime, Cantelmo says these officers will be out there until a new deal is reached. Reporting live in studio, Vanessa Blasi, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Vanessa. Meanwhile, News 10 is working to learn more about how the consent award agreement will impact all union workers if and when the strike is over. Stay with us both on air and online as we continue to follow this developing situation.